Good morning. If you have decided to study to become a professional hypnotherapist, follow us in this beautiful project of study and learning. Hypnosis is a powerful technique with which you will be able to help and improve the quality of life of a great number of your future patients. Remember to study the description of this video where you can find 2 free training classes on clinical hypnosis with several free ebooks. The balanced, sensible, or healthy diet. Concepts. Eating well is one of the most reliable ways to protect and improve your health. Nutrition has played and plays an important role in our lives, even before birth, although we are often not aware of it. Every day and several times, select and consume foods that may be conditioning our state of health, for better and sometimes also for bad. Feeding can be defined according to Professor Grande-Cobian, 1984, as the process by which we take from the outside world a series of substances that contained in the that form parts of our diet are necessary for nutrition. Food is, therefore, any product or substance that, once consumed, provides assimilable materials that fulfill a nutritional function in the organism. Nutrition is the set of processes by which man ingests, transforms, and utilizes the substances found in food, and which have 4 important objectives to fulfill. 1. To supply energy for the maintenance of his functions and activities. 2. To provide materials for the formation, growth, and repair of body structures, and for reproduction. 3. Supply substances necessary for metabolic processes. Diet is another term commonly used and is defined as the set and quantities of foods or mixtures of foods commonly consumed, although it can also refer to the regimen that, in certain circumstances, healthy people, sick, or convalescent people eat and drink. We usually say being on a diet of a partial or almost total deprivation of eating. Dietetic studies the way to provide each person or group of people with the food necessary for their adequate development according to their physiological state and circumstances. That is to say, interprets and applies the scientific principles and knowledge of nutrition by elaborating a suitable diet for healthy and sick people. As adequate, balanced, or healthy diet contains sufficient energy and all the nutrients in sufficient quantity and quality to maintain health. There are many. The choice of the most correct one, according to all the conditions of the individual, becomes an art. That is why we talk about the science of nutrition and the art of dietetics, in which gastronomy is also involved, or the art of preparing with the chosen foods a good meal, balanced, appetizing, and with good digestibility. The components of food that carry out the important functions described above are known as nutrients. Thus, nutrient is any substance of known chemical structure essential for the maintenance of health, which, however, unlike others, cannot be formed or synthesized within our bodies. So, it must be supplied from outside, through food and diet. Furthermore, If it is not consumed in sufficient quantity and quality, it can lead to some form of malnutrition and manifest in diseases such as beriberi, pellagra, scurvy, etc., which will only be cured when the nutrient involved is consumed again. Thus arises the concept of essentiality. The main evidence that a nutrient is essential is precisely to cure a given nutritional disease. Let's look at the definition of nutrient. Those substances necessary for health that the organism is not capable of synthesizing and must therefore be provided by the diet, by food. Of the many and diverse components that make up the human body, only about 50 have the character of a nutrient. That is to say, to maintain health from the nutritional point of view, needs to consume through food approximately 50 nutrients, together with energy or calories obtained from fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Man needs 2 fatty acids, 8 essential amino acids, 20 minerals, and 13 vitamins. Therefore, for the diet to be correct and balanced, energy and all the nutrients must be present in it, in adequate and sufficient quantities, to cover the needs and maintain health. Water, although it is not considered a nutrient, is also vital for life. Another nutritionally important substance is dietary fiber. All these components or nutrients are widely and heterogeneously distributed in foods, so that the diet, that is, the foods or mixture of foods, in the amounts in which they are customarily consumed, has an important role. All these essential substances. Thus, we can say that there is only one way of nourishment, but numerous, sometimes unlimited and infinite ways of nourishing oneself, or, in other words, to combine foods to obtain those nutrients. It is important to remember that there is no ideal diet, nor is there any one complete food that we can eat exclusively, since none of them provides all we need. Only milk can be considered a complete food during the first month of life. Foods also have many other components, some natural, that give them their organoleptic characteristics, etc., and others added, whose role with regard to health is of great interest today. Point 2. Importance of food and health. The abundant results of the many studies linking diet and chronic cardiovascular diseases, obesity, diabetes mellitus, some types of cancer, osteoporosis, etc., have shown without any doubt that diet and health go hand in hand. They go together. It is now known that between 1/3 and 1/2 of the agents involved in death from cancer and cardiovascular disease are dietary factors. You might think that this is not very helpful, as we have to eat every day. However, this negative aspect has the counterpart that, unlike other factors, such as genetic factors, for example, we have the possibility of modifying the diet as a preventive, more precisely, as a way of delaying the onset of the disease. We start from the assumption, therefore, that a large proportion of diseases and even death that can be prevented today are related to our dietary behavior. Of course, there is complete consciousness in the scientific community that the most important choice people can make influence their health in the medium and long term, apart from quitting smoking, increasing physical activity, and avoiding traffic accidents, is dietary modification. Therefore, hence, the need to define as precisely as possible what is a healthy diet in terms of foods and nutrients, the main characteristics of which we believe are fairly well established, although at times dietary recommendations are numerous, unclear, contradictory. Point 3. What do we currently understand by a healthy diet? Balanced diets, prudent or healthy, are terms that should always be used in the plural. That is to say, we must speak of balanced diets, healthy or prudent because, indeed, once we have established the criteria met, we will see that many diets or combinations of foods can be considered adequate. The ideal model can be reached from many different options, thanks to the great diversity of our eating habits and to the great gastronomic richness of our country. The concept of a balanced diet is on the one hand very concrete if we know what we should eat and in what quantities, but at the same time a very ambiguous concept because we must always ask ourselves, a balanced diet for whom and in what circumstances? And it also becomes rather complex. We live at a time and in a society that is privileged by the great abundance of food available. However, paradoxically, we also find ourselves of choosing the right diet. The ability to choose a balanced diet is something that has to be learned. In addition, the population is becoming more and more aware of the need and desire to maintain health. We are more receptive to everything related to nutrition, and this makes us much more vulnerable. For us, it is necessary and urgent to establish and clearly disseminate the general rules to be taken into account in order to design, prepare, and consume a balanced diet. If you're interested to continue learning about clinical hypnosis, watch our next video, The Balanced, Wise, or Healthy Diet, second part. Remember to study the description of this video. Find a link to free training classes about clinical hypnosis with several free ebooks. If you have questions, ask them in the comments area. On this topic and many others we'll talk about in the channel and in the videos that we'll publish. So, if you're interested, don't miss our next videos. Thank you very much.